Hello, gay millennials, and welcome back to another episode of Good Day Gay podcast. I'm joking. Oh my god. I'm your host,
Oh,
Russell Ray, along with my co-host, Paulie B. What's up, Paulie B? Jesus. Oh my god.
literally, when the intro was playing, like I was trying to get all my, because you and I were like talking and just laughing so much before we went live, so I had to get like all of that, like ha ha ha, like get it out of my throat. Oh gosh,
Apparently, it's still in my throat, so there's a lot going on here. And
tough
to
it
top
out,
it
girl.
off, when the intro was playing, so like we talked about this before we came live. I've gained a little bit of weight, right? So like my tits are a
Stop.
little fatter. My stomach is also a
No.
little bigger, and so like I'm like popping my pecs because like it's the first time I was able to do it. And my neighbor walks up, sees me right through the big ass window right next to our couch, and I was like, "Oh God, this is gonna be one of those type of days during filming."
Is this your neighbor that I met?
Yes. So I was just like, "Doo, doo, 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 doo." But like it looks bigger from the side because like look, it's a full cup, right? So like it's heavy. I'm getting heavy, all right, which we like. We like a little
Heavy.
heavy, heavy. Okay, we like heavy. Anyways, we are here talking about passport pride, gay travels, and tips, tricks, and things to do so that when you travel to your gay destination, you have the ultimate experience. So to start
Yes.
off, we're gonna talk about Sydney, Australia, where Paul and I actually met. So we met
Woo!
during World Pride Mardi Gras 2022.
2022. Yep. Yep. Yep.
2022.
2022.
Let's get right to it. Uh
Sydney. Sydney. I describe Sydney as, so last week we talked about New York. So I think that the New York of Australia is Melbourne, because
okay.
Melbourne's got that like cultural diversity. It's got that vibe and that grit about the city. Whereas to me, I describe Sydney, Australia as like the Hollywood, or the Hollywood of like of Australia, if that makes
Oh, how
sense. Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. That's how,
I've
I don't
never
know
been to
if
Melbourne.
yeah, I don't know if that's how you saw Sydney, like if you saw it as the Hollywood of Australia, but that's what I see it as. Like everyone's like perfectly groomed, like the chests are like pecking, the chests are pecking.
Look, when I was trying to peck right now, I got caught. So there's also that.
Yeah,
But
that's
no,
how
you
I
know what?
see
You're right.
Sydney. Yeah.
It's Sydney seems like the Santa Monica of the Gold. The Gold Coast is Sydney, right?
No, Gold Coast is Queensland. Gold Coast is Queensland. To me, Gold Coast is your Venice Beach. Yeah,
Oh,
Gold Coast
you
is your
got
Venice Beach.
okay. All right. So
Yeah.
we're starting to understand now.
Yeah,
Okay, but
that's
you're
what
right.
I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone in Sydney was beautiful. Like their
Oh,
bodies are immaculate, like impeccable. When I tell
yeah.
you, when I tell you I went to the beach and it was
Mm.
like, whoa. I had my towel. I put my towel over myself so I could just tan my face, which is what I don't ever tan my face because it's bad for your skin. But I was like, we're just gonna have a tan face this time. And then I removed the towel once I rolled over to my stomach because I'm like, all right, like I got a big
Get me.
backyard, so like at least my butt will look good in the sand.
I think that's our first travel tip. So travel tip number one about Sydney is obviously you have to do the Bondi Beach. Like gotta go to Bondi, gotta do I
Lady
don't know,
Jane,
Lady Jane.
Lady Jane Nude Beach, and
I didn't
then
even go there. I've never even been to Lady Jane.
Lady Jane Nude Beach and Oballis Beach,
Yeah,
or
see, you've done
Oballis
more than
Beach
I.
is the gay beach.
Okay.
I kept my trunks on because I didn't know it was a nude beach. The people we met the first 3 days were just like, "Oh my god, we're gonna go to the gay beach," and I'm like, "Oh, we have one of those here in Laguna. Like, there's a gay beach in Laguna Beach here in Southern California, and it's not
Yeah.
a nude beach." Um, and so when we went to Obelisk, it was everyone had no clothes on. And I was like, "Well, here's me and my dad shorts, and they're gonna be all the way down to my knees." So
I tend to keep my like speedos on when I go to a nude beach as well, because I like a speedo tan. Do you know what I mean? Like I want a white
yeah,
ass. Yeah, I want a white
people
butt.
love that.
I love it. Yeah. I love my butt.
Look, I wish I got a tan like that, but my body is so weird. I ombre when I tan. It's very weird. It like it there's never a solid tan line. It's always just like a casual fade into darker and a casual fade into lighter. And I'm like, where is the hard line? I want a hard line so that
You
everyone
have
knows
to
that I've been
wear.
tanning.
You have to wear the same size every time. You can't go
I
skimpy, not skimpy. Like it's got to be the same size every time.
maybe you're right, but I guess I don't tan like that anymore ever since I started using these retinol products.
No,
It's like
but also like
red and
the
redder.
sun, red and redder. But the sun in Australia is different to the sun in Europe and I would say America as well. Like I
Yes.
feel I tanned so well in Europe, but I only tan really well in Australia when it's like a humid, sunny day. Like when it's a dry heat, I just get burnt. Whereas like, yeah, the sun's different.
I tan really well in Hawaii because it's like it's a very
Hawaii.
tropical type of
Yes, that's the best
sunshine that
sun.
you're getting.
Yeah, that's
My
the best
hair
sun.
is extra curly when I go into that water because the salt water is
Skin.
just like the perfect combination. My pores are
Yes.
little.
Yes, your
My
skin is
waist is
clear.
snatched because I'm not eating anything
No.
but fish. It's just protein.
One more thing about Sydney. So I think if we're talking about, travel destinations and all of that, we always have to touch on our neighborhoods. So the
Yes,
neighborhood of
Sussex.
Sydney is no. Oh, Surrey Hills.
Wait,
Surrey Hills.
what's the
You
street
said
name
Sussex.
though? Isn't it the street?
It's Oxford Street.
Oxford Street. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
My bad.
Sorry, y'all. So
Go to Sussex
during
if you
Mardi,
get the opportunity. It's great. Okay, back to Oxford
there
Street.
is, I think there is a bar called the Sussex, maybe. But down, like when it's Mardi Gras, you march down Oxford Street. So that's what Oxford Street is. So
Yes.
yeah. So Surrey Hills is the neighborhood of Sydney, and then the surrounding suburbs, like you've got Redfern. What's that near the airport? Sydney is just generally gay. Like there's a lot of
Yes.
gay people in Sydney. Yeah.
I will say, oh, you know what we saw at World Pride? I don't think I told you this.
Who?
We go to Stonewall. It's like 3 or 4 stories, right? So
Yes,
we go to
Stonewall's like
Stonewall.
3. Yeah.
We go to Stonewall. We go to the top floor.
Yeah.
And then like we're dancing, and then we look to the right of us. Andy Cohen was right next to us.
Are you kidding me? That daddy?
Yeah, Shane goes,
Oh.
is that Andy Cohen? I was like, yeah, that is Andy Cohen. And he was right next to, he was like next to us the whole night. He was just
Did you say hello?
intertwined with, he was saying hi to everybody. He was very, very personable. Like he was very nice. He's very kind to everyone.
Let me make sure I'm thinking of who I'm thinking of, because I always get Andy Cohen mixed with someone else.
He's the lead host of Bravo with the Housewives.
He's hot.
And
That's
his
the
best
daddy
friend
I
is
like.
Anderson Cooper. So
I always get him confused with Anderson Cooper. Yeah. But the both
Anderson.
of them.
Oh, if I could look like Anderson when I get to my 50s, like goals.
You can be Anderson, I'll be Andy.
Instead, I'm 30 and I'm breaking down and my knees hurt. And I don't have a tan line. It's terrible. But yes, Andy Cohen was very nice, very conversational.
That's really cool.
I won't blast him. There's nothing to blast him about, but I won't throw out anything out there. It was Pride. We were all just having a great time, and drinks were flowing. We were all just, it was Pride. So like he was great. And it was nice to see that he didn't have like a VIP section and he wasn't cut off from everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like
he was
the
with
gays
the
and the girls are really what made Housewives pop off.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he was just intermingling with all the gays and there was, no obstructions. He just wanted to be immersed with the rest of us, which was nice. So that was a little bit of tea for y'all that I partied with Andy Cohen at.
Yeah, you never told me that story. I don't even know where on the timeline that happened if we had met by then. Because then I
think it was right before you and I met. Right before.
I would have died. We didn't go to the Stone. We didn't go to Stonewall that night. We went to a different place. We went to the underwear party. We went to the underwear
fun.
party.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
That's so fun. Everyone is probably just in harnesses.
Did I wear?
Let's take a moment. Let's shout out everybody that's in the chat right now. Tanya Marie. Hey, Tanya Marie, welcome to the chat. Randomly, Ronnie Jr. extraordinary podcaster, extraordinary
Woo!
radio host, television host, worked at American Latino Television, worked with
Yes.
the late Jenny Rivera, who of Long Beach,
Ooh.
who was the Queen of Banda. So yes, randomly Ronnie Jr. is in the chat.
Uh,
And he said, "Hey everyone, I'm so glad I got a chance to finally check out a live episode. So excited
oh
to
my
hear
god.
about all the things travel." So yes. Also important to note, if you are an American traveling to
Hmm.
a Commonwealth country like Australia, right? You guys are
Mm-hmm.
Commonwealth.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
Note that a carry-on bag is not the same as an American carry-on bag. So it's not
No,
two
it's really
full-size
not.
suitcases like half of
No,
the world thinks.
no, they'll
It
charge you
is 7 kilograms,
7 kilos. Yeah.
which is about 14 pounds, which is roughly the size of a small backpack.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Exactly. No.
plan on checking a bag.
Mm-hmm. That was a
Because
big difference. Yeah. In
yes,
my
if you
travels,
fly
like,
any
yeah.
American Air,
Yes.
then
Yeah.
let them tell them from your perspective, because I'm speaking from American perspective, but let's just talk about how excessive we are as Americans.
So I remember, like, flying within Australia, I got used to the 7 kilo carry on because it was like 7 kilos and they started charging people. It got to a point where they were charging people if you were over 7 kilos. So
Yeah.
I just was able to get into the habit of like, okay, my bag is 7 kilos, or okay, it's 7 kilos, but I'll wrap my jacket around my waist. I'll like put on an extra t-shirt. Like they tell you, oh, you could just take things out and put it on you. So you're literally walking on with the 2 kilos that you just took out of your bag, which is kind of dumb. But I got into the habit of like knowing how to do that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Whereas when I was traveling through the US, I was like everything was in my check-in bag and I had the tiniest bag, and I had noticed people were just walking into the flight with like full luggages. Like obviously they were small to medium size, but it was the full luggage. And I was like, what? Like, here's me shoving my whole life into like this little backpack, and these people are just walking on. And then they do that thing in America, in the US, with where they're like, oh, it's like at the end where they're like, if you have a carry on, like you just bring it on. Do you know what I mean? Like at first they allow people to check it in, but then towards the end, you just bring it on, or they end up checking it in the end.
Yeah, they end up checking it at the door if
Yeah.
there's no
So
more overhead bin space.
exactly. So to me, I'm like, why pay an extra however much you pay for
Yeah.
like excess luggage or anything when if you're in economy class, you'll get your baggage checked in for free.
Yeah, if you
Like,
just take it through TSA and then you hand it to the gate agent when you get to the gate. You can
yeah,
just say, "I want to check my bag," and then they'll just tag it for you for free. So that's
yeah.
a travel hack.
Travel tip. Yeah. If you're American, Australia's in America, and then Americans in Australia, to just remember that.
Let me tell you the nightmare that we had. Okay, because we were
Okay.
American. We're very American at this, and it's no wonder the world is mad at us. So we have a big bag. It's
Mm-hmm.
very, very large. So
Yeah.
this one had to be checked, right? And because we were
Yeah.
going to be gone
Yeah.
for 2.5 weeks. So we packed the bag, put all of our excessive things in there. We each have a suitcase and we each have a duffel bag. And like a duffel bag is American duffel bag is roughly like this size, right? So
Yeah.
it's about 2 feet wide at least to about a foot tall.
And your
So
suitcase, is that like the small or the medium?
my suitcase is 22 inches tall.
So that's like
And
the small. I think that's the small. Yeah.
it's like 12 to 14 inches wide.
Yeah.
So it's a standard carry-on. So
Yeah.
we
Yes.
each have one of those, and we have the big bag, which we checked. We land in Sydney. We were connected to Cairns so that we can see the Great Barrier Reef, which if you all ever want to go to the Great Barrier Reef and you want to travel to Sydney because you think that you're going to do it because that's what they said on Finding Nemo, wrong. You got to take another 4-hour flight. Because I
Yeah.
looked up the Uber and I was like, I wonder how long the Uber would be the next morning, 5 days before we left. And I'm like, oh, a day and 16 hours to get, no. So
Because
we
it's a
had
completely different state.
yes, did not know that. very caught off guard when I found that out. So know that
Love
that's
that.
on the opposite side of the country. So you're going to take a 4-hour
Yes.
flight. So we get there, we walk over to Virgin because we're gonna check our bags, or we're gonna
Yeah.
check in for the flight. And the lady
Yeah.
goes, "Okay, so I have one check bag and one carry on," and she's like, "And then that one's gonna be 150." Or no, she said, "You have to downsize the one bag; those two have to disappear." And I'm like, "What do you mean disappear?" And she's like, "Yeah, it'll be $150 each way." And I'm like, "We don't even need half of the stuff." We have 4 hours to make our connection. We're running through the airport. We finally find a locker that'll take our stuff for like 50 American dollars for 3 days. And
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
I think we give them 2 or 3 bags, but whatever. And we
Yeah.
packed all the like necessities to travel the Great Barrier Reef. But needless to say, that's when we learned. She was like, "It's a 737 and they don't fit these bags." And I'm like, "Yes, they do, but whatever." I wasn't gonna argue with someone. I'm like, it is what it is. Like, I know the ins and
Yeah.
outs of this,
Yeah.
and that's not the case.
Yeah.
But whatever. So it's a very American mindset to think that you're gonna have 2 motorhomes of suitcases that you're gonna be able to bring on the plane and throw in the overhead bins.
No, bitch. Sorry, I don't know why I
Oh,
said bitch.
so I learned that because
No,
you
bitch.
that's that animosity towards Americans that you felt right there. That's what that was. And you know what? I don't blame you, because that was a very American thing to do, was to be like, "Oh, we're gonna bring all 7 of our bags and it'll be fine." Which in reality we had 5. We each had 2, and then we had the one big bag with all of our. So it was just like, and then we had to take a whole other bus to travel.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I did that in school.
the domestic terminal is like in a different city
Yeah.
because it's that
Yeah.
far.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Which in LAX you can walk from the international terminal to any other terminal. It's just around the block. But like this one, you have to take a full on city bus into like, I would say it's anywhere, but like it's about like between 2 and 3 miles from the international airport, which also blew my mind. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna miss our flight." And then we get to the domestic terminal and everybody's hot. They're all in sandals and like shorts with like leg tattoos. They're
Yeah.
tan,
That's
big
Australia.
tits. Like, and when I say big tits, it's like that's a very international term for like men who have large pecs. So nobody
Yes.
cancel me for that. And I'm just like in awe. I felt like Marla Hooch from A League of Their Own. I felt like the ugly one. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need a hat, sunglasses, and I need melatonin so I can sleep for the next 2 weeks." So
Can
yeah,
I just say something
go ahead.
about airports? So, because so I did a lot of travel this year, and the one thing I noticed in US airports was how slow everyone works through the airport. I'm like, have you not been to an airport before? You know that you have to take the water out. You know that you have to have liquids in the bag. Like people pass through the airport like they've never been through an airport before. It annoyed me
Even
so
if you've
much.
never been through an airport, TSA will yell at you. And I don't understand why we're missing this. I don't understand the argumentativeness in an airport. If they're telling you to do something, it's because it's required. So why would you argue your points? Because you're not going to win that fight. If TSA tells you you cannot bring this pocket knife through TSA because it's a pocket knife, and you're like, "But I've had this pocket knife since I was 7 years old." Nobody cares. You're not supposed to have it. And they told you to put it away.
All right, we need to move on. I
We
feel
are
like
moving on. We just spent 19 minutes complaining about what it's like to be American. Moving on to travel tips.
Travel
Here's a
tips.
few things. If you're traveling for 5 days, you don't need 27 pairs of underwear like you're going to shit yourself 3 times a day for the next 2 weeks. Okay? You only need about 5 pairs of underwear, and you can wash those in the hotel. It's not very expensive to do laundry. Do 1 load. You have 10, that's 10 days worth of underwear, y'all, if you do the math. If you're feeling a little bit more risque and you're going to be in the water, then just wear your trunks and then don't wear the other underwears. Like,
don't wear the underwear. Yeah.
Look up your destinations before you go there.
Do some research.
100%. So you have a plan.
Yeah.
Relatively, I feel like as gay travelers, we are safe, but
Yeah, I
I
think
do
so.
want to
That's
say
where I
that.
was like, sorry, I was just gonna say
Go ahead.
like when we talk gay friendly destinations. So, um, I think these days, like you can go anywhere. If as a gay
Yes,
person, you can obviously go anywhere, but
minus the Middle
whether
East.
something's yeah, exactly. So whether something's flagged as like a gay friendly destination. So I wrote my own little definition for like what constitutes as a gay friendly destination. And so I've written down a city or destination where you feel physically and emotionally safe to be your most authentic self.
Okay.
And then I wrote down some green flags. I was like, okay, a gay destination, green flags. There might be a gayborhood. There might be some gay cafes, bars, or clubs. Gay couples showing PDA. You know, just the gays walking around, holding hands, kissing each other. I think feeling safe to express yourself through your appearance. So, you know, being able to walk out of the hotel in a crop top and, you know, your midsection's not going to get shamed or anything. I'll shame my own midsection.
Uh,
And you know, just walking down the street and someone just stops you and gives you like a yes. Like these are all the green flags of a gay friendly travel destination. Um, that's what I wrote down. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Gay friendly travel destinations.
Gay travel. So my top picks for gay friendly travel destinations
Tongue
are
twister.
so know that there are prominent gay people living in that city. That is a dead giveaway.
Yes. Yeah.
Local
Yeah.
celebrities, television personalities that are gay who are living in that city means that it's relatively safe that you can go out and enjoy yourself. So New York, we talked about this last week, is the gay mecca of the United States. You are going to get noticed when you're walking down the street. You're going to get praised. People are going to give you your flowers as you're walking through the street because you're going to be acknowledged.
Can I
West
just
Hollywood
cut
is another
quickly?
safe
Let me
travel
just quickly cut you off
destination.
there.
Oh, go
Sorry,
ahead.
Russ. On the New York thing, so I have a new goal in life, which is
What
to
is
be
that?
stopped by the confidence guy in New York. Have you seen him
Oh,
on?
yes. Like, what makes you confident?
Yes.
Some people brush him off, and I feel so bad for him. I'm like,
No, that's my
why are they
goal.
so
Like I'm gonna
rude?
be. Yeah, that's my goal. Like the next time I'm in New York, I'm just gonna walk the streets like strutting, and he better find me. He better find me.
If not, you better wear that same outfit for 4 days in a row. Until you walk. I think he's in the East
Sorry.
Village. If I'm not
Yeah, I
mistaken.
don't know why I had to just give a shout out to the confidence guy.
But
Yeah.
I don't. He's not relatively around Times Square. He's more like he's like in the East Village where more locals are living and going in about their
Yes.
lives.
Yeah.
Just as a
Sorry to cut
travel
you off.
hint. No, it's okay. Randomly Rodney Jr. is like in this chat, baby. He said, "Oh my gosh, not
Chat.
Marla Hooch." He said more like Marla Hoochie. Yes, that is me, baby, Marla Hoochie. I 100% enjoy all 7 years I lived in New York City. Truly the greatest place.
Love New York.
Yes. So again, dead giveaway that it's a safe destination is um you're gonna have actual bars in that
Mm,
location that cater to the LGBTQ community. Please note that there is a difference between a gay bar and a gay friendly bar. That means that
yes.
they're not surrounded necessarily by a plethora of gays, but they are welcome there and that they will ensure
Mm,
that you are safe.
yeah.
But a gay
Allies.
bar means that you are in a neighborhood of some
Mm-hmm.
sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Also, walk with the purpose when you're traveling to
Yes.
any destination.
Yes.
If you're not walking
I
with a
agree.
purpose, this is when you're going to get stopped by pickpocketers. This is when you're going to get,
Mm-hmm.
um, unfortunately, mugged in some cases. I knew of a person who was mugged in Paris because they were just walking around with their Cartier bracelet and
Mm,
walking with no purpose. Walk with the purpose. Keep your expensive stuff in your safe,
yeah. Yeah.
in order to keep you safe.
Mm.
Moving on now to La Zona Romantica in Barcelona,
Yes,
where
you
Paul and I
have.
actually rekindled after he traveled out to the States. We met up in
Yes.
Barcelona,
Barcelona.
and
Yes.
there is a destination. I wrote this down. It's
While you're looking for
called.
that,
Go ahead.
just going on about like walking with a purpose and keeping your belongings safe. So in my 6 months of travel, I had nothing taken from me, never, I had nothing taken from me. Like nothing was stolen until I got to Barcelona. So my necklace that my mom had given me got taken in Barcelona, and I don't know, for some reason I thought handbags, phones, wallets, like they were all fair game. Jewelry was like, no one's going to take jewelry. Yet I came home from a night out in Barcelona and my necklace was gone. Didn't feel a single thing. It was just gone. So, um, yeah, although Barcelona has a safe feeling to it, I think the pickpocketers there are really good at what they do. So just be careful. Travel tip number, I don't know what we're on now, but in Barcelona, be careful with your belongings.
Yes, and you know what? They're good at it because they're so. I've seen them. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I love you. I love your outfit." And then what they do is they reach their arms around you, they slide your necklace down, and then they unclip it when you're not paying attention because you're in the moment.
It was that lady
It's the
in
same
that
thing as
bar.
when people are trying to show you a magic trick on the street.
Mm.
They're distracting you by whatever's going on in your hands, not realizing that they unclipped your watch and then they'll slip it off of your hands. So y'all, be
No.
safe out there. Barcelona
Yes.
is like, okay, let's talk about it. We're just gonna get into this because I know the gays want to know about this. Bath houses. Okay. If there is a place to go, I have not been. If there is a place that you are interested in going, we have read some reviews. Ronnie wants to know
Okay.
how London is. We will get to London in just a minute. It's very friendly, but
Love London.
We love London. If you're
Love
going for a food experience, I would say London is more about tea and smaller bites. If you
I think London is kind of like, look, yeah, there isn't the best food in London. I think there are food spots in London. I didn't get a chance to find those spots like people had told me about it, but in the touristy destinations, you're not going to find nice food. And like, that's just the reality of London because it's such a big city. But in terms of like your New York, so I told a friend that we were discussing gay travel destinations on the podcast today. And my friend asked me, well, in your opinion, like, where's the place that you've been, which is a gay travel destination? And I said, there are two places where I felt completely 100% authentically allowed to be gay. And that was New York and London. New York and London. Those two cities are just amazing.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that because London is, you're right. London is very much
it's amazing.
Like,
it's
you.
Yeah.
And and they will call you out if not. They're just they tell you the truth like New Yorkers.
They do. And they say in a London accent. I love their accent. I love a London accent. Sorry, that was really bad. Let's talk about Barcelona.
Okay, so Barcelona is so beautiful. I went to I forgot what that beach. I looked it up and I don't even know where my notes are at this point because we got into conversation.
Is it yeah.
But let me tell you, we're going to talk about Barcelona is a cruising bathhousey destination. So if that's what you're looking for and if that's what you're into, Barcelona is the place to do it, okay? Because there is a gay beach. Also, there's a gay beach. I'll get this out of the way first. There's a gay beach.
Yeah.
If you need to go to the restroom, make sure you're going to the restroom with a purpose. Again, if you are lingering around, they are going to think that you want to do things whatever you're doing. Okay, like just to be real with y'all, I'm very conservative. I am. I'm so conservative. Like the way my mother raised me in this Mexican Catholic household, you do not come out of the bathroom unless you are fully clothed. You don't walk around the house in your underwear. You don't sleep in your underwear. I still, until this day, do not sleep in my underwear. I sleep in full on underwear, basketball shorts, and a tank top, even a sweatshirt at times, because like it was engraved in my mind, like you are not gonna be a nasty boy.
Can I just confirm that as well? Like for the listeners, for the viewers, let me confirm. So like offline, I've been saying to Russ, like, I'm so glad that him and I are doing this podcast and we're getting closer as friends through the podcast. And you know what? I think I started this podcast thinking you were a nasty, nasty boy, but you're a good boy. You're a good boy. Like, so confirmed. Confirmed that you're a good boy.
I mean, I do my research. I'm very well researched, but I've researched it, I've looked it up, and I've confirmed that these things happen. And it's so funny because when I travel to these destinations with friends, they're like, "I'm gonna go to the bathhouse," and I was like, "What?" Like people walking around with like, "What?" They're just in
Yeah.
towels. Um, but again, this is gay culture, and gay culture is so much
Hmm.
different than heterosexual culture, and
Yeah.
you have to think gay culture is the equivalent of female. I don't want to I don't want to pinpoint it like that too much, but it's the equivalent of female culture where a female can be with another female topless, walking around, doing makeup, doing their hair together. That's what gay culture is as well. Seeing somebody in the nude doesn't necessarily mean that you're trying to sleep with them or do anything
Correct.
with
Yeah.
them. It's just
Yeah.
what the gays do. And if you're not comfortable with that, that is okay as well. Um, but it's just a different culture. Like straight guys don't see each other naked, or like if they do, it's like usually in their boxers and it's a drunken night or whatever.
Yeah.
But gay
Yeah.
culture is like, oh my god, girl, I forgot my underwear in the room. Like, don't look at me. And then they're running down the hallway naked.
Yeah.
That's just gay culture.
I think just touching on that as well, because we are talking about like, well, we did touch on bathhouses. And so one thing about the bathhouse for that as well is like people aren't necessarily people are going to bathhouses with different intentions. So
Yes.
gays could go to the bathhouse and literally just want to relax. And they can say that to other people to just say, sorry, I'm just here to relax. Do you know what I mean? And
In
that's
a
gay
safe
culture.
gay space.
Exactly. That's gay
Yeah.
culture.
Maybe they don't have the confidence to just walk around in public or at these gay beaches because again it's a very American mindset. We did talk about this a bit before we went live, that it's perverse to be nude in public in American society.
Yes.
However, the rest of the world does not see nudity as perversion.
No.
But for some reason in American culture it's been turned into perverted. But like in Europe, you have naked statues of Roman gladiators and everything throughout the country. And so nudity should be appreciated. I don't know why I'm choking on my words today, including the opening of this podcast. But Ronnie said they go to relax, question mark. I don't know. I'm thinking there's a lot more going on, but that's just me. Okay, so there are things going on, but there's different rooms for that.
It's like 1 in 5. 1 in 5 go to relax, okay?
If you go to the website, it says there are rooms. So anybody who's going, please note that you might be getting your freak on in one room, but in the other room, they might just be having a dance party. So
let me just quickly, I forgot the name of it.
I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can. Maybe that'll be
There
like
is-
a challenge for season 2, is us walking into a bathhouse and seeing our reactions.
Just for there is a gayborhood in Barcelona. I'm trying to remember. Is it Chueca or is it
Gayxample?
Yes, that's the one. Gayxample.
Yeah, it's Gayxample.
Yes,
it's like a big block.
Barcelona is a gay city, like gay hotels. I stayed in a gay hotel when I was there. What was that hotel called? Axel Hotel. I stayed in.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. Sorry, I don't know why I did that just then. I think I just remembered a story. Okay, we're telling the story.
Tell the story.
So I reckon it was the night that you and I went out. So I came back to my hotel. Didn't meet anyone while we were out, but I had met someone in the lift that day.
How cute! You shared a lift.
We shared more than a lift. But
that will be the end of today's podcast.
I'm so sorry. I thought about it this week. I was like,
tell us more about what you shared, Paul.
You and I trying to keep this PG-15, and then it's me just like screwing.
You know what? They want us to dive in, and that's exactly why we were like, let's gay destinations. Let's talk about the bathhouses, because people go to other countries to do things that they wouldn't normally do in their own country.
And let me just say as well, like, other than Spain itself is actually a very gay friendly country. Um, other than Barcelona, shout out to Madrid as well. Madrid
Love
has
Madrid.
multiple gay bathhouses, and like I think is Madrid's gay neighborhood is Chueca. So
Yes.
yeah, oh, I love
And there's
Madrid. Love it.
also a 4-story Zara with furniture
Yes. Yeah.
and oh my gosh, when you want to talk about how to turn me on, baby, I was in Zara for about 3 hours. I was like, they have neutral toned like volleyballs and boxing gloves in here. I want all of it. I was sitting on my suitcase so I could try to zipper the damn thing up because I bought so much stuff at that Zara. And if you are an American that's traveling to Zara in Madrid,
In
the
Spain in
prices are
general.
cheaper.
Yeah, Spain in general. Just Spain in general, prices in Zara Madrid, it is cheaper. When you do the conversion, you're like, this
Yes.
is cheaper. And Spain gets everything first, I think.
Yes,
In
because
Zara, Spain gets everything
they're thinking
first.
about their
Yeah.
seasons.
Yeah. Mm.
I got 3 bomber jackets. At I think they're like $25-$30 a piece. And here in the States are $55 a piece.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was sitting on my damn suitcase to get it to close.
I'm just going to quickly read one of the comments. So randomly, Ronnie Jr. said, broadcasting live at a bathhouse during season 2. So here's my idea, Russ. Here's my idea. You and I, we go to Madrid. We do a Zara fashion haul. And we talk about what we hold at Zara in the bathhouse.
I will be in my underwear, basketball shorts, a tank top, and a sweatshirt, like my mother has always required me to be in, and then we can broadcast live from the bathhouse. Yes,
Yeah,
we
look what
can
I
make this
bought from
happen.
Zara. Yeah.
Look what I got from Zara: a trench coat that ties and has scrunchies around the arms and legs so that no one can get inside of my clothes.
I love Spain so much.
I know Spain is they're beautiful there. Like their skin is ridiculously gorgeous.
Amazing.
If you go to a fitness class there, like one of my friends took me to a cycling class in Madrid. And I don't do cycling because I'm just out of breath all the time.
Yes.
And we went and it was just like the hottest. Do you know who Chris Appleton is? He does Kim Kardashian's hair.
Yes.
He's the Aussie and he has like beautiful face. Think
Is
of
he Aussie?
every single he's Aussie, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So think of Chris Appleton just on every single one of like these bikes. And I'm like just looking haggard. Oh my God. I'm just looking like I've been just good through it. And just gracefully just trying to, how you doing? Hola, ¿cómo está? Hola. It was like, oh my gosh. It was an experience. And
I'm gonna move this experience on to okay. So I guess we're talking a lot about the US, we're talking a lot about Europe. So let me just quickly, I did some research. I wrote into Google top gay friendly destinations. That's me researching.
yes.
So the Lonely Planet I feel is credible. So the top 12 gay friendly destinations. We've got London, Provincetown, Massachusetts,
Yes.
Auckland, New Zealand, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, Barcelona, which we spoke about, New York City, spoke about that, Berlin, Germany, Sydney, Toronto, Amsterdam, Palm Springs, California, and last is Tel Aviv, Israel.
Really?
Have you seen those Middle Eastern men?
Sorry, I was not thinking Tel Aviv. I was thinking Dubai, and I was like,
no,
really?
Tel Aviv.
You're right. No. Tel Aviv has like a whole pride thing.
Yes, but when I was reading that list, I need Asian representation. Like, there's no, which is fair enough. Like, Asian countries are conservative. So I guess, yeah, like obviously if you want to travel Asia and you want to go to gay friendly destinations in Asia. So I did then search the top gay friendly Asian places. I found it on the website Nomadic Boys. I have read some of their some of their pieces that they've put out on the internet when I was traveling a bit. So the gayest country in Asia is Taiwan. Taiwan is the first and only country in Asia to pass the gay marriage equality laws. So you've got Thailand as well, you've got Cambodia, Japan, and the Philippines. So
the Philippines. My
yes,
best friend went to the Philippines and he loved it. He got his tattoo there just to mark the occasion. Yeah.
The Philippines is I feel a bit like ashamed in myself that I have traveled the US, I've traveled Europe. I want to do more of the US, I want to do more of Europe, and I feel bad that the Philippines, my home country, is literally like not up there with other places that I want to go to. But Philippines, I'm coming to you soon. We're gonna do the
I mean,
podcast from Philippines.
I would love that. Or we could look, season 5, when we have our 100,000 followers, we will go to every gay destination and we will do an episode in every gay destination. And if I haven't been there, Paul will just surprise me and things that he's done that I've never done. And then if Paul has not been there, like Puerto Vallarta, I'm just gonna throw Paul into the ringer and see how he does. But to be fair, like I didn't go to Mexico, and that's my home country until I was 21. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been to the Philippines,
So,
but the last time I was there, I was 12 years old. Like, who was
okay.
12 years old Paul? 12-year-old Paul was like a fat kid that that does not look like he looks now.
12-year-old Russ was a twink. I looked like a pretzel stick. That's how twinkish I was. Just the smallest, skinniest, most frailest thing you've ever seen in your life, and I had like the world of confidence.
I love that.
Lord be to Jesus.
I don't.
Moving on.
Yes, this episode. Yeah.
Some of the challenges when you are traveling, when it comes to looking for a gay-friendly destination, are really finding dependable outlets in order to do this. So you can find local websites in your country of origin that do all of this for you, or like you can even
Wait, what do you mean?
West Hollywood
Sorry.
has a whole travel website that will
Okay,
tell you the safe places to go. And some of the challenges too are like really immersing yourself into certain places like that are predominantly religious, like Rome. You and I had a
Yes.
great time in Rome, and it was the gay rugby tournament out there, but people forget that that's a predominantly Catholic city, and so you can't go into the Vatican with a sleeveless shirt on. You have to have sleeves on,
No.
especially if you're
Yeah.
female. You have to
Yeah.
go in dressed appropriately, or not appropriately, I guess would be the wrong
You
terminology.
just have to cover up. You just got to cover up.
You got to be covered up to the standards
Yeah.
of the church.
Yeah. I think I would say that as well. Like Italy, I was in Italy for a month and I loved it. But it definitely has that feeling that it is more conservative to other European countries
Yes.
out there. Like, you know, when I was in Portugal, when I was in Spain, very gay friendly, the atmosphere just like there's sex in the air.
It's sexual. Yeah, it's very sexual.
Exactly. Whereas when I landed in Italy, like it's romantic, it's conservative, it just doesn't have that like others have. So I still love Italy, I still do, but
I love Italy.
It's more conservative compared to the other places because of that Catholic culture.
Yes, if you want the food, go to Italy, baby.
The best.
Go to Rome, Milan, Venice. Don't go to Milan if you're looking for a lot of experiences. It's unless you're going to travel out and go to Lake Como. Milan is mostly you're going to get your shopping done there. You're going to get your Louis Vuitton there. You're going to get your Cartier there. You're going to get all of your big fashion brands there.
Let me just plug a bar in Milan when I find it. There was a bar, Red Cafe. So when I was in Milan, I went to a place called Red Cafe. I ordered what did I get? A Negroni. I ordered a Negroni, and it cost me €4. And I was like, this is €4? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, get me another one.
Okay, so here's the thing though, because in Europe, wine and drinks are seen as a part of your meal. I don't know about it in Australia, but here it's seen as like
Australians are
an
alcoholics.
accessory, and so you're paying for an accessory to your meal. So you're paying the
Yes.
upwards of 20 American dollars for a glass of red wine or a martini. And you're like $20,
Yeah.
$25.
No, no, no. It's
Excuse
insane.
me, with this inflation? No, ma'am, not for
It's
some rubbing
insane.
alcohol.
It's
That's why
insane.
you go to gay bars, because when they pour, they go,
Gay
"So
pour.
how's your night going?" And the
Gay
drink is still
pour.
pouring. And they go, "Oh," and they go,
But
and they put a little bit of soda water in it.
okay, okay. I don't know
Okay.
what's happening right now. No gay pours in Australia. I'm just going to tell everyone that there's no gay pouring in Australia. In Australia, we do measure our shots, and there won't be any gay pours here. So
You're
sorry,
right. Oh my goodness. You are
sorry.
so right.
Mm.
You are right, because when I went to Australia, I was like, "Is there anything in here?" And the
Yeah, it's
bartender
just
is so sweet, like just very
so
sweet.
sweet. Yeah.
That at Stonewall that I wish I would remember his name right now. So sweet. Um, and
There's
we tried to order doubles, and that's not really a thing either. And it was just it was like, we gotta go to a liquor
yeah.
store and go
You
take shots
do,
before we go out.
yeah, you've got to do the pre-drinks. You got to do the
Yes.
pre's. You got to, yeah. There's so much to talk about. Oh my gosh.
There is I do want to touch on this. There is a club. It is gay friendly. It is not a gay club. It
Yeah,
is gay
yeah.
friendly. It's called the the Wild. It's it's a club
Where?
in the middle of a park in Milan,
In Milan, yeah.
and they have like the best DJ. It
Oh,
was
that's so cool.
crazy. But I would have never guessed that there was this club in the middle of the park. And I was with a friend, and she's from Italy, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, do you want to go to this bar?" And it was like the soccer finals, or like football, depending on where you're at. Um,
Yeah.
Soccer finals, the championship team was there. They were popping bottles of champagne. They were like pouring champagne in
Oh,
everybody's mouths. Like they were just on the dance floor, and
I
I was
love
living
that.
my best life. It was 3:30 in the morning before I went home. It was wild.
I
Um,
love that.
from nightlife to romance, though, I do have a viewer story.
Yes, tell me, tell me, tell me.
Let me pull it up really quick.
Yeah.
Um, Love in the Eternal City is what we're gonna call this one, because it's one of those feel good. This is the story that everyone looks for when they travel.
Yeah.
Um, so my friend wrote us in, wants to remain anonymous, which I try
Mm-hmm.
to convince him not to, because it's such a cute story.
Oh.
Um, he had always dreamed of visiting Italy, and he finally was able to make it happen through work. He said, "When
Mm-hmm.
I got there, the cobblestone streets were just gorgeous. The history was rich.
It's
And it was
amazing.
just, I felt like I belonged in a place for the first time that I didn't have to try, and it just naturally happened.
Mm.
I was fresh off of a breakup and decided, let's go ahead and download Hinge." So I'm going through Hinge. I'm also going through Tinder. And I find this beautiful man with dark eyebrows and swoopy hair.
Mm.
And I'm thinking, I need to swipe on this man, and I need to super like all his photos on Instagram, because his profile is attached.
I love that.
So I quickly swipe on him. I'm liking all his photos on Instagram. I get a response on Tinder. Sorry, I lost my place for a minute.
That's
And
okay.
his pictures were effortlessly beautiful. Whoa. And he had one of those bodies that you just can't even make up, the type that you see on a romantic novel. And so I felt like
You always do this, Russ. Just tell the story.
I felt like I felt like a gorda mensa when I was talking to him, because I thought there's no way in hell this man is going to be into me, but I've decided to pursue it anyways. He picks me up in his car, which was a lot smaller than anybody's car in America, but I thought it was so cute. It was just like everything you see on television.
Yeah.
And he takes me on the most romantic date over by the Coliseum, and we're overlooking and we're watching all the tourists walk through the Coliseum. And then he takes me back in his car, and then we go back to his place. We get on a Vespa, and then he takes me to get another Vespa, and then we ride around the city. Side by side, he's showing me all his favorite spots. Then he asked me if I want to go back and have a nightcap and wine. We did have a nightcap and wine. We enjoyed our evening together. It was the best conversation that I ever had. Despite the boundary, he did speak Spanish, and I am a native Spanish speaker. And so we were able to make our conversation happen that way. Although he had an Italian accent, it worked perfectly fine, and everything was so blissful. I ended up spending the night at his house because I felt so comfortable with him, and the romance was just something like I had never experienced before. Long story short, we kept in touch. I was working out of New York at the time, so I was able to go back and forth and go on a few dates with him, which I really enjoyed. And then I ended up getting transferred to Los Angeles from New York for work, and we lost contact. I started dating this other loser who made my life hell, who ended up having a whole ass man on the side, but we won't talk about that. But I just wanted to share with everyone out there on your podcast that it is possible to find love in a random destination. Don't think that your love is necessarily in your backyard or in your city, because you could find it anywhere in the world if you're willing to give yourself a chance. I could kick myself for allowing work to allow me to travel back to Los Angeles to be based there for my job instead of just staying in New York and being able to fly back and forth to go on dates with this man. I still think about him until this day and wonder where our life could be, but who cares? Whatever. I'm just going to do something else in my life.
I love that story, the way that it ended.
This is one of my really good friends. So like, it's just, if you all knew him, and I'll have him on the podcast eventually, maybe he can like go over the story more in detail. But he is one of the funniest people that I know, because he's very like that. He'll be like, whatever, like my life would just be a disaster for the next 2 years and I'll just deal with it. And like, I'm just gonna go to the bathhouse and just do everything that I need to do to get it out, right? He is very much that person, and this is why I love him, and this is why I wanted to share his story. But when we talked about it a little bit over voice notes, he was like, it was just everything that I could have ever imagined in like the perfect relationship. And he's like, and I didn't make the effort after I transferred to Los Angeles. And I'm like, no.
To be honest though, like that's one of my favorite things about traveling, which is the 24-hour romances. The 24-hour romances are the best. And I had a few on my travels. I feel like I had a little boyfriend romance when I was in Ibiza. That was really cute.
Is this?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it is.
So a bit of a tea for y'all.
Should we talk about it? Okay, talk about it.
Okay, so I'm in Ibiza and I'm just like Ibiza, like partying it up, jump on the grind, find someone to grind with, and afterwards I'm just like, I'm going to the gay street tonight. Like, do you want to come with me? Do you want to party? And he was like, yeah, sure. So he comes over my hotel for pre-drinks, and come to find out he lives in LA. I go, I've got friends in LA. And then I'm like, and he's like, oh, cool. Like, where do they live? And I was like, sorry, where do you live again?
Long Beach, California.
I was like, they live in Long Beach. And he's like, oh my God, I live in Long Beach. And I was like, my friend's Russ. And then he was like, oh my God, I know Russ. And I was like, oh, the world is small. But yeah, he was definitely my, Ibiza. Yeah, it was just like the experience of Ibiza. I'm glad I shared it with him. I just remember this one time I had in my list like notable gay parties as well. And one gay party that's 100% notable is Glitterbox. Glitterbox in Ibiza. It's a queer friendly, gay friendly party, but him and I went to that party and it was magical. We just were like, this is the best place in the world right now. Everyone here, it's like when you go to Ibiza, everyone is sharing energy with each other. Like you don't know people, but you're sharing energy with them, and the vibe is just insane. And travel tip number 6 or whatever we're up to is you can drink the water from the taps in High Ibiza. Okay, do not pay €16 for a bottle for a bottle of water from the bar, because you can drink from the tap. It's 100% fine. Um,
Also, I just do want to note that the person that you spent, should I send him this podcast later and be like, "Yo, we talked about you on the podcast."
I think it'll be cute.
Um,
I'll send it to him as well. Yeah, we still talk, him and I.
um, the sweetest person that
Oh,
I've met in
so
Long Beach,
nice.
just genuinely a good-hearted person.
Mm,
Funny, just
yeah.
effort. Why can I not say effortlessly
We're
today?
tired
That is,
today. You and I are tired.
we are so tired. I'm just ran through. No, I'm not ran through. I'm just tired. But just the sweetest person,
Mm,
and does drag, and the drag persona is there, and just like
yeah. Yeah.
this 6'5" bombshell, and you're like,
Yeah.
I did not recognize him in drag, and I was out one night with two friends, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're
Yeah.
like gorgeous!"
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
just the
Yeah.
kindest human being ever. So we're gonna share the podcast with
Uh,
them, and if they decide that
yeah.
they want to talk about it, we
Yeah.
will. Paul also
All
has a
right.
viewer story.
I've got a viewer story. So it's a quick one. So as always, I put out to my Instagram to get viewer stories from my followers, and my viewer goes, um, I'm just trying to make sure I say this correctly because we all know I'm not good at story time. Um, so basically, okay, so my viewer just goes, he was flagged twice by the TSA because his junk was flagged as being too big.
Wow, was there a pat down
So,
involved?
well, yeah, the officer agent was like, "Do you have any pieces of jewelry or anything there?" And he was like, "No, it's literally just my junk." And he was like, "Okay, well, I have to pat you down now."
You know what they say? It's not gay if it's TSA. You
Oh,
know what?
there's
They
so
really
much to
do a
talk about.
thorough investigation, but
Mm.
we do have to move on to our
Oh
nar
no,
moments
moment
of
of
the
the week.
week.
Uh, okay, my oh no moment of the week. So, my current life goal is to after traveling overseas, I have a life goal which is to live overseas. I've lived in Australia my entire life, and I've always had this longing to move overseas. Um, so recently, one of the places that I've been exploring in my mind is South America. And I remembered that I have a follower on Instagram who moved to South America. So I was like, oh, I'm going to ask him what it was like for an Australian to move to South America. So I was scrolling, like, I'm trying to find him in my followers, and I was like, where is this boy? So then I went to my chats and I typed in something that I knew we spoke about to see if the chat appears. So the chat appears, and I ask him my question. I'm like, hey, did you move to this city? What was it like? What was it like as an Aussie? Blah, blah, blah. And then I call him out and I go, also, I noticed that you're not following me anymore. And I don't care. I really don't care. But I'm just the type that, I don't know, maybe the drama, I love to just start shit. And so I literally was like, you're not following me anymore. And he goes, yeah, my boyfriend saw your Instagram page and there's too much twerking on there. He asked me to unfollow you. So that's my own no moment of the week where I go, oh, am I losing followers because of my twerking?
Your twerking is grade A, so I don't know what his boyfriend's problem is. He just should have asked if you could just come over and join them in a throuple, because you're
Well,
already in a throuple. So that you already have
exactly.
four, so you might as well be part of a three.
Exactly. And you know what? I twerked around the world and I made videos about it. So twerk around the
Did
world challenge. I started that challenge. Twerk around the world was me.
So go on TikTok, and y'all, we want to see your twerks around the world, and tag us at Good Day Podcast, Good Day Gay Podcast. Lord.
Yes.
Mine are our moment of the week was, I had this cute little jingle that I wrote for us, and I was gonna like record it and everything, and I
Yeah.
had to go to New York for work.
Yeah.
I pull out the beat pad, I pull out my laptop. I forgot the freaking charger for my laptop, and I forgot the freaking cord for the beat pad. So like my laptop was dying. I had no cord. I was like, I was so defeated. So needless to say, we don't have a jingle. We're not gonna have a jingle until at least the second or third season now, because I don't know what happened to. I was like, when you're creative, when something pops into your head, you got to get it out at that moment, because if not, it'll be gone. So then something else will come. So I guess we'll just pray on it, and hopefully something else comes. But
Okay.
Lordy.
But when the jingle comes out, it's gonna be you and me. You're dressed as Elphaba. I'm dressed as Glinda. That's how the jingle's gonna be.
Alphaba.
Now that we're friends. Love that movie. Shout out to Wicked.
Oh
Shout
my
out to
gosh.
Wicked.
So good.
So good.
I cannot rave about that
We
movie.
we could talk about this for another hour. Like
They had the
literally.
most perfect casting for
Cast.
that
Yeah.
movie. John couldn't have done any better than what he did. That was amazing. Him and the casting team, amazing.
So good. So
My
good.
other honor moment of the week, because you touched on something on your end, is I was called out for unfollowing someone.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me because you still follow me, so that's all good.
Let me tell you, I go batshit crazy when people call me out about unfollowing them. And I'll tell you why. I don't follow you because no, I follow you, but like I will unfollow someone if I don't have interaction with them, and if there's nothing, unless they're an international friend, I get it. Like, we're not going to be as connected as someone that's in my community. Long story short, me and this person became friends like relatively recently, maybe a month ago. And I'm like, we haven't interacted. We're not talking very much, whatever. I unfollow him. I kid you not, 10 minutes later, I get a message and it's like, oh, that's funny. You unfollowed me. And I put, yeah, okay. And he was like, well, I just think that's weird. And then all of a sudden he unfollowed me like instantly. And I'm like, what is the deal? Like, let me tell you, baby, if I could roll the tapes back to 2004 and pull out my top 8, half of these hoes could not even play because they'd be in their place knowing damn well they wasn't going to be on the top 8.
Not
Paul,
the
you would be
top
on my
8.
top 8. You would
I
be on
better
my
be
top
on your
8.
top 8.
You would be on my Paul would be number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. No, Shane would be number 1. Paul would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
She ate.
8. But I'm like, why does it? Here's my thing. Why does it matter? I know how you say like you like to start shit, but like when someone like that calls me out, number one, I don't know you. We barely know each other.
Exactly.
We're not interacting. Why does it matter that I unfollowed you? Why are you so pressed about this? Just move on with your life. Move on with your life. You know what I mean? Like clearly interesting, which is why you follow me, but you were offended that I unfollowed you, so then you unfollowed me. So get out your feelings and recognize that I am more entertaining than you. And let me flip my little curl back. And just, we are grown. Get over it. Yeah, so that was my own moment of the week. I really wanted just to reach to the internet and shake this person senseless and be like, what is the problem? I don't know you, like Mariah would say. And with that being said, on next week's episode of Good Day Gay Podcast,
yes,
let them know. Tell them, Paul, what are we going to be talking about next week?
I'm literally having a mental blank right now because all I have in my head is popular.
Okay, I mean that's right on track. Popular. We're going to be talking about exes, friends, and frenemies. Can't we all just get along? Absolutely not. We're not going to get along.
No thanks.
We are going to run you through the ringer and throw you out at the bathhouse.
The bathhouse. Oh, okay. Okay. We're going to be talking about that. Okay.
So next week. So also, please send us your personal experiences with your exes, the ups and downs, why you're friends with them, why you're not friends with them, and frenemies. Why are they important and why do we keep them in our lives? Who knows? We'll find out next week on Good Day Gay Podcast. Until then, we'll see you then, y'all. Talk to you later.
Bye.